If you're a woman over 40 and maybe you're struggling with your fitness or your nutrition, well, welcome and keep listening because Joe and I are going to share some of our hottest tips with you to help you get back on track. I'm Sheryl, I'm a nutritionist. I specialize in all things food. And our lovely Joe here, she's our specialist in fitness. And together we love helping women over 40. We work together and we just wanted to come on here today to share some of our hot tips with you because the school holidays are ending and it's time to get back into routine. Okay, Joe, so what do you recommend when there's women who are aged 40 plus, maybe they haven't exercised for a while, maybe they're feeling a bit hesitant about getting into it, they don't know where to start. What do you recommend in this situation? What's the best way to get started?
So usually if a new client or somebody is coming to me, the reason that they haven't got started is because they're not sure where to start and they're not 100% sure that they can do it. So what they really need is not to be left just on their own to just go and find workouts, because if that was going to work, that would have already worked. There's heaps of workouts you can do online for free. What they really need and what gets them the best results is having a plan specific for them that progresses in the correct way and the support and guidance with that plan. So it's not just a here's your workouts, these are great, go and do it. It's a um, having someone there to talk them through the exercises, guiding them, giving them feedback. That's the thing that they need so that their form is correct, they're using the right weights, they're building the momentum, they're keeping up with the workouts, and then they will start to see the results. But that they really just need to have those couple of things in place first: plan and support and guidance.
Yeah, it makes such a difference. I mean, like you say, we can do it on our own, but when there's
Mm,
not that accountability or when you haven't got the guidance, it's so much harder just to take that first step, isn't it?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. How did you get started in fitness?
Well, I got started because I actually was going through my own weight loss situation. So I had a crazy amount of like hormone disruption when I was in my late 20s, and that caused me to put on a lot of weight, and I just couldn't lose it no matter how I was eating or what like fitness I was doing. But it was because mainly the fitness I was doing was just really high intensity cardio. There was no strength training, there was no low stress, low impact exercises. And because my hormones were so out of whack, which happens to women in their 40s plus, the stress on my body from the high intensity was actually making my body more stressed, which was meaning I was holding on to the fat. So the same thing can start to happen with women when they're going through perimenopause and menopause, those hormone changes, plus you'll be working, you've got stress already, you might have family or kids, there's a lot of stress going on, your hormones are becoming out of whack. The cardio can actually make your body more stressed and it stops you from actually losing the weight. And then the strength training, which I found through my own journey, allows you to build muscle and tone, but the muscle is what burns fat. So when you're at rest, your body is burning calories. But if you've got more muscle, your body has to burn more calories to maintain that muscle. So the fat
Mm.
doesn't burn as many calories as muscle does, which is just, it's all just really fascinating. And it's like doing it myself was what really helped me to see how that change happens. And then doing it with clients allowed me to obviously see how it happens with women in that age bracket as well.
Yeah, it's so interesting you say that because it's exactly the same with nutrition. Like when we're in our 20s, of course, we might try diets or more extreme things and it works. And it's like, oh, okay, this works. And
Mm,
I find it's because a younger body in general can also handle cortisol a bit better. And let's face it, life's usually not quite as stressful and we're younger. So that cortisol, it doesn't have such a huge impact on fat burning. You can sort of still get a result. But
yeah.
as we get older, and then we try and go back and do those things, and when we're at a different phase of life, the cortisol's already higher. There's more going on in life, and we're older, and it's like the stress just turns fat burning right off.
Hmm.
And I think the equivalent, like you're talking about in fitness, we're doing too much cardio. The equivalent that I see in nutrition is, oh, well, I'm just not going to eat as much. I'll just do a calorie deficit. I'll just go really low in calories. And
Hmm.
maybe that worked when you were younger, but I find with clients as they get older, It might work a little bit in the short term, but very quickly your body's like, mm-mm, I don't like this under eating thing. It's too stressful. I'm already stressed. It's increasing cortisol. And then fat burning turns off. And the woman's there saying, oh my gosh, what do I do? I'm not even eating hardly anything and it's not working.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's about totally changing it up in the same way that you're talking about with the fitness, with the nutrition. It's like we need to lower stress and do it in a way that your body's getting some gentle shocks and it's not doing the same thing all the time, but it's not doing it in a way that's so stressful that
Mm,
it's gonna increase cortisol.
yes, exactly.
Gosh, I tell you, cortisol is the key when we're getting to this age group. And cortisol and insulin sensitivity, which is why low carb works
Mm,
so well, because if we can control our insulin better, because as we age, our body becomes a bit more insulin resistant, which means it just doesn't work with insulin as well. And if we're
mm.
eating higher carb foods and we're not burning it off, it turns to fat.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. It's just so interesting. The nutrition and fitness elements coming together, that's the kind of the perfect combo that you need. And when you're a woman 40 plus, as you said, what you did in your 20s and early 30s is not going to work anymore. So you do need a different approach with both of those elements, and they need to come together in the perfect way to allow you to get the results that you want and your
Yeah.
weight loss and moving better. Because if you're not building any muscle or you're not doing any of the right exercises, your body starts to feel more stiff and things start to feel harder. So we need to keep on top of all of that as well. So the fitness approach needs to be so varied to allow you to be doing lots of different exercises to build the muscle, lose the weight, move better, increase flexibility. It's just all really important to
Yeah.
include.
And if I'm talking to you and I'm saying, okay, tell me the top three exercises. If I can only do three things as a woman over 40 just to get the ball rolling,
Oh my
three
goodness.
things, what would
Where
you
would I
say
start?
are three really good, just simple exercises that are a really good way to get started?
Yeah, well, I think one of the like biggest things is your glutes. So that's your bum muscles. So like you can have, any size bum you want, but if your muscles aren't actually working, those muscles are doing nothing. And glutes like help in so many exercises. They help with walking, like walking upstairs, so many things. They're not fired up, then other muscles are doing the work that puts pressure on your hip joints, your knees. So I think targeting glutes with really easy to do activation exercise you can do at home would be one like major exercise to do. And then I think also quads, so building up your leg muscles as well, because that helps release pressure off your joints and your knees. So making sure that you're doing anything like squats. I mean, squats are just like a staple exercise that have just always been good to do. So I think adding in squats would be amazing. And then, unfortunately, for a lot of people, I would say some sort of plank or core exercise because your core is not just your abdominal area and that like six pack look, it's actually your back muscles as well. And so your whole middle area of your body is holding your body up in every single movement you do. So if your back is, which is your core, if that's weak, that's going to put pressure on your lower body. And, also not being able to lift things, in functional exercises, lifting something up. So core exercises are just like a must do. Always include them.
You saw my look of fear when you said
Yeah.
that.
Because I think planking is that exercise that is it's hard, but there's no way around it because it's so amazing for so many muscle groups. So it's like we just have to include it. And there's lots of variations you can add, and I always add varied plank exercises to keep it interesting. But they are included. They have to be.
Actually, it's not as bad. I thought you were going to say burpees. I was going to be like, oh, but yeah, a plank's much better than a burpee.
It's actually really funny because I don't really care for burpees. I guess they are a good exercise, sure, but for what end? Like you've got to also be thinking about what's your purpose. Like what are you wanting to get out of your workouts? If you're wanting to do that sort of not just high intensity, but like that power kind of exercises where you're jumping and doing all those things, yeah, sure, add in burpees, add in those things, but that's not really where we need to be going for women, especially beginners, especially getting back into fitness. You don't need to be doing burpees. It's just like really, there's so many other things you can be doing.
That's great news, Joe. You've made my
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Awesome. I know. And if someone was saying to me, right, what are the top three things in nutrition? Like if your nutrition, you know that you're off key and you're just really not sure where to get started, I would say, and you've probably heard this because it's so important, you've got to have protein. Like to get your
Yes.
blood sugars stable and your insulin balanced, you need to have protein with every single meal. And look, it doesn't necessarily have to be a whole lot of supplements either, because I see people thinking they have to have protein bars and they have to buy this and that. And I'm like, look, protein powder is helpful, a shake is helpful, but look, eggs. You just want to make sure you're eating meat if you can with every meal, or eggs, or a vegetarian substitute, whether it be tofu or tempeh, something like that. If you're having that with each meal, protein, yogurt, cottage cheese, you just want to make sure you're getting that throughout the day in each of your meals, and that'll be a great start. And I think the other really big thing that is overlooked, and it's so simple and it's free, drinking enough water.
Mm.
I can't tell you how many clients have really changed their results just by having more water. And a big part of that comes down to cortisol. Again, stress. If you're not drinking enough water, that's going to stress you out. And then your stress goes up and fat burning gets turned off. So,
Yeah.
water's a huge, huge part of fat burning that I see. And I
Mm.
think the other thing with nutrition that really, really makes a difference, especially when we're over 40, is that you need to shake it up. You can't just do the same thing every day and expect the scales to keep dropping, because your body adapts. So, in my program, in the program that Joe and I have created together, which is our 6 week reset and rebuild, as well as the core program, where you're getting your 3 meals a day and your lovely snack, all low carb, lovely and structured, so you know what to do. You're also getting 3 fat loss protocols. So these are like separate little plans that you can add in if you want to and you need to really keep those scales moving. Because when you just add in something a little bit different, not radical, just a couple of days each week, you do something different, that is when the scales keep dropping. And this is the key with nutrition. We're so into habits. We just get into patterns with our eating and probably with our fitness too. We're kind of doing the same thing, which is great. It's better than doing nothing. But if we really want fat loss as the goal, we have to keep stimulating our metabolism. We have to sort of keep doing things differently so that our body's forced to keep giving that result. So, yeah, those little protocols, get 3 of them, can be so helpful just to make sure that the scales keep dropping.
Mm. Well, actually, because I know that you in the past had lost a huge amount of weight and kept that off, and you work with so many women that come to you with the same problem of wanting to lose weight. So, what would you say are sort of their biggest challenges when they come to you that you can see, okay, here's what we need to do to fix this and set them
Yeah.
up like for success?
I think the biggest challenge for women, especially over 40, is that we just put everyone else's needs above our own. We're not putting ourselves first anymore. We've
Mm.
got kids, we've got partner, might have parents, and the list goes on. And we're so good at looking after everyone else, and our goal just kind of slips down that priority list. And when we were younger, maybe we didn't have to do all the things to be able to even maintain our weight. But as we're getting older and those hormones are changing, these actions become more important. So if we're not doing them, all of a sudden we're really starting to see the consequences. So I think a big part of this journey is just being willing to sort of step up and say, hey, I want to see a change. I'm ready to put myself first. And I think when that mindset is there, everything else follows along.
Mm.
They get a meal plan. Okay, now they know what to eat. It makes it so much easier. Just like you were saying, we need structure. We're too busy. We've got too many other things to think about. If we can just get told, okay, eat this or this or this, yummy, simple New Zealand recipes, simple New Zealand ingredients. You just have to go to the supermarket. You don't have to buy a whole lot of stuff online. It's easy. Make it easy, and then it's easy to get started. So I think that's the key. It's just being willing to put yourself first. And, even the actions I know in our program are really easy. It's not like we're doing extreme intermittent fasting. I mean, tell me about that. It's like 2 workouts a week, right? It's just
Yeah.
so doable.
Yeah. And I
It's got
think,
to be doable.
yeah, like I have another question for you, but what you just said about the fitness, the 2 workouts a week, what I notice with the women that will start, they want to go hard out. They want to go 4 or 5 times a week. They want to get results quickly, but they just can't maintain that because one, they never have, two, it's way too much to stick to, and then they stop doing it and then they lose momentum. So we focus on that slow, gentle, incremental fitness changes, workouts, allowing you to be like, okay, this is totally doable. And you can get the changes in the right way that are long term. That's my biggest thing, long term results, not just quick fixes. I'm not into that at all. But
Exactly.
so if we're talking about the meal plan for women over 40, what helps to keep women to stick to the meal plan? So it's not so like, oh my God, I'm sick of doing this. What's
Yeah.
the way that you can do that?
Well, I think the number one thing is that it has to be yummy.
Yeah.
Like if it's this is food, right? And most of us love eating. If it's not delicious, we're out. Like
Yes.
we're not doing plain tuna and cottage cheese on crackers. Like I'm sorry, there is no tolerance for that anymore. And I
I
think
love that.
again with low carb, what is so great is that we're getting to eat delicious, healthy fats with our meals. So we can have yummy mayonnaise or some cheese or some peanut butter or some really nice
Mm,
sauces. So it's yummy. And I think
yeah.
the other key benefit, apart from the fact that it's very simple, I mean, on our program, I give about 3 or 4 different meals you can choose from, some recipes, some really simple. So you're not overwhelmed. You've just got a couple of things to choose from, but different options. So you can pick what you like. You don't have to eat an exact thing on a certain day. You just get a nice little selection to choose from. That's important. We don't want to have too much, but I think the key is we don't want to be hungry. And with this plan, when you're getting that nice bit of protein, nice healthy fats, your blood sugars are stable, you don't feel hungry anymore. And feeling hungry is again something that at this point we can't just think we can white knuckle our way through. We don't want to be overly hungry. We've got too much else going on, and we need to eat food that's delicious. So I think when those 2 boxes are ticked, that's when
Yeah.
people can sustain it. Because, like I always say, this is not a diet, it's a way of eating that works in the long term. I mean, I've done it for 25 years now, which is how I've kept off all my weight. And
Mm,
that's pretty much why I do it because it's yummy. Like, if it wasn't
yeah.
delicious, there's no way you'd be able to sustain it. So, I really think this is such a great way of eating in the long term. There's heaps of easy products now you can just get at the supermarket. So, it's a
Yeah.
piece of cake. It's a piece of low carb cake.
Yeah. So it's interesting what you're saying about the low carb because I do have a question about that, but also it reminds me of I've had clients in the past, and I know this is just a mindset from the 90s and 2000s. I totally get it, but they believe small a small amount of something and feeling hungry is the best way to go. And so they'll say, like I just had a small snack and I couldn't even eat lunch. But can you explain a little bit why that doesn't work? And then also about the low carb, why that's so good for
Yeah.
this particular age group?
Yeah. I think the key thing when you don't have a plan and you're not in a structure, what can happen is, and I even see this in low carb, if people are having especially a higher fat snack, like they might
Mm-hmm.
be having some cheese or they might have, yeah, some peanut butter, and they're like, oh, the challenge is they're not getting the protein. So they might be feeling full, but because they're not sort of structured, they're not having good meals. What I can see happening is that they're not seeing the best result possible because their ratio just isn't ideal. They're having some of those more higher fat things, which are yum, but it's not sort of ticking that protein box. So eating and also eating sort of smaller meals more frequently, the other challenge with that is it stimulates your insulin, which is your fat storage hormone. So I know there was that advice, eat 6 small meals a day, and that's going to be the best solution, but that's not great for insulin because our insulin doesn't have a chance to drop and regulate because every time you eat, there is going to be some insulin involved, which we don't really want. The other thing is it's not great for your gut. Your body
Mm-hmm.
needs time to digest food. Get all that food digested, then clean up your intestines, and then it's get ready for the next meal. So that challenge with eating frequently, it's not just about insulin and blood sugars, it's more about gut health, which overall can make a huge difference. So I think, again, having that structure where you're eating that good meal and then you're giving your body a really nice amount of time to digest it, get stable, clean up the shop, and then we get hungry and eat again. Being in that rhythm is really, really helpful. And that's something that I see a lot when people do follow this plan. That's a
Mm,
big change. They're not eating as often, and yet they're not hungry, and they're seeing much better results. So
yeah.
yeah, it
Yeah.
makes a difference.
It's just, do you know what's fascinating is you can go online, you can do so much research, but there are so many elements that are involved in the nutrition side that you're talking about. You're talking about gut health, insulin, protein, having a meal plan. It's just, I feel like it just makes it so much easier if you just have somebody giving you the exact formula that has worked so many times as you've seen in your clients with yourself
Yeah,
and just go with it. And then, as you say, it's easy to stick to. It's yummy. You're not going through those hungry phases of, oh my God, I'm so hungry and I just have to push through it. And you're still losing weight. Like, I think that's the sort of holy grail of a nutrition plan, really.
yeah.
So I feel like it is the perfect kind of plan to have.
Well, that's it, isn't it? We've got so much going on. If we've got someone telling us how to work out, we don't have to think. If
Yeah,
we've got someone telling us what to eat and it's yummy, we don't have to think. I think the answer here is that at this, we just don't want to think.
exactly. And
We've
then
done
once
the
you've got those
thinking.
results, yeah, you start. It's it's the feeling like, oh, okay, I'm putting these pants on and they actually fit. I actually feel good in these pants or the skirt or this dress. Then you're like, okay, this is great, this is working. And because it's like a doable plan, it's easy to stick to. So
Yeah,
that's why I love what we've created is it's at allowing somebody to come in and get their workouts that are doable, get their meal plan that's doable, start getting results in that nice 6 week time frame without overwhelming themselves with like a 4 month plan or sticking
oh,
to, like a 12 months of doing all these workouts, or even being given options for different types of workout plans. Like that's overwhelming. If you're being given some sort of app or whatever online where it's like choose from all these different workout plans, you don't know which ones you're supposed to do. So I feel like being given the workout specifically created for women over 40 is just makes it so much easier to say. You don't have to think, do the
just do.
workout.
Just do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Oh, look, it's been so good talking. It's just really good
Yeah.
to touch on some of these key topics. Gosh, it's
Yeah.
such a ongoing thing for obviously so many of us. And I think the
Mm,
key, we just have to do something. Like doing something is just always feels better than kind of floundering, being out of routine and just not sure where to go next.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And look, our program is starting again on the 27th of April. So it's 6 weeks. And look, if you want to plan, if you want the workouts to follow, if you want the food plan to follow, and you're ready to get started and just get going, you'll see the link below this video. So look, we'd love to help you. And we've got an early bird pricing available till the 20th of April. So if you get in there now and sign up, that'll give you a nice little discount on the price. But yeah, look, this program's exactly designed to take all the guesswork out, make it easy, make it yummy, and make it doable so you can just get started and see a result in a nice small group. You're not one of 1,000 women. There's not, as Joe was saying, there's not a whole roadmap where you have to guess. We just keep it super simple. Kiwi woman helping Kiwi woman.
Yeah. That's what it is. That's what it's all about. So yeah, I'm super excited. Can't wait to get started again.
Yeah, same. Awesome. We'll catch you later.
Okay, bye.